Good morning. It's June 27th, 2025, and I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop. And today's live stream is going to be totally awesome. I'm hoping that I can remember all the things, but basically, I'm going to show a new Lori Holt paper that I think you guys are going to love because I love it. And then I'm going to show all my sew along progress. Then I'm going to show you a bunch of quilts that I did that are quilted. And then I'm going to show you a bunch of quilts that some of the manufacturers let us borrow. So I'm just going to jump right in. This one's going to be a long one. So I'm going to try to go as detailed as I can so I don't miss anything, but not too long where y'all tune out. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to tell you was our birthday bash ends tonight at midnight, and you will receive a free lighthearted charm pack with orders, shippable orders over $40 if you put the code BASH22 in, and that is while supplies last. So I'm not sure how many of these we have left, but I just wanted to let you guys know. I think a lot of you have already ordered it. So we have new paper from Lori Holt. It's vintage MILKMAID'S Star foundation paper, and it's available in the 6-inch size and the 12-inch size. And then what I wanted to show you is it's different than the other papers because you can only get 10 blocks out of each pad because each page is a quarter of the block. Now, I do have a YouTube video that came out, and we sell this individually or as a set, and we're going to have a sew-along coming up later in the year using this free pattern that you can get at Fat Quarter Shop designed by Lori Holt. Now, this one has the 12 inches on the inside and the 6 inches on the outside. That sew-along is going to go and start when the Gentler Times collection comes in stock, and that's not here yet. But I love this block so much that we're going to do two things, actually. We're going to do a block challenge, but I'm not going to tell you anything else. I'm just going to tell you kind of that we're going to do a block challenge, and you can start playing with the blocks. I do want to give you some tips on the block. So the free pattern is out now, just so you know. You do have to have the paper to make it. I would say it's intermediate to advanced, but I do have some tips for you. So these two blocks were made using, what collection is this?
It's actually your stash.
This is my stash. Okay, yeah, these were test blocks. This is from my stash because, you know, I have a lot of Lori fabric, so who knows what fabric it is. But what I want to show you is I got some sample yardage of Gentler Times, just a tiny bit of it. And I'm going to show you, this is the original block. This is from my stash. I'm going to show you all the blocks that I did. I did these all in, I don't know, a weekend. Now, this is not all I'm doing. I'm going to do like 20 to 30 blocks, all different color versions, colored. So I'm going to start laying them out and you'll start seeing. This uses 2 colors. This one uses 4 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. This uses 2 colors. This uses 3 colors, so 1, 2, 3. This one uses 5 colors, 4 on the outside, 1 on the inside. This one uses 8 colors, so 4 on the outside, 4 on the inside, actually 9. This one uses 3 colors. So, oh, this is inverted, so this is basically this in reverse. This is the same thing inverted. I'm gonna try to show it that way. And how we came up with these, big shout out to Denise and Jocelyn. I came out with like, I don't know, 10 or 12 of them, and they helped me come out with the rest. This is similar to this one. It's just 3 colors, 3 prints instead of 4. Instead of 2. This is this one inverted. This one is this one inverted. this was just one day of me just basically, I'm just taking the little scraps they gave me plus some backgrounds, and I'm just making fun blocks with them. And so what I wanted to point out is if you look at that original quilt, if you looked at that original quilt, it didn't look anything like this, right? And so I was just inspired to do something really fun. So we're going to do the sew along, but we're also going to do the block challenge. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I have no idea what I'm doing with these blocks. No idea. I can tell you that my very favorite one is this one. And my second favorite is this one. Now, my tips for you on this are to use this, and a size 90 needle. But also my other tip is, now, there are some blocks that I'm not showing you because I do test blocks and I play around with pressing. And on this one, you just have to press to the dark. If you try to press these seams opposing and get it all, or even press open, it does not work. And it looks ugly. So this one, even though all of these pieces, like they're pressed the same direction, it looks perfect. If you can figure out how to do it the other way, let me know. But this is all pressed the same. And it's not the way I would normally do something, but when I did it, you know, the normal Kimberly way, it was ugly. In fact, the block I made is going to be thrown away. It's so bad. So if you love this paper, let us know. Again, it's called Vintage Milkmaid Star, and it is by Lori Holt. And let's see. And this one, I would say probably intermediate. You do have to have the paper for this one to be able to complete it, but let me see how many blocks I have. I have 11. So I have about at least 10 more that I have in my stash of ideas. So that's kind of what I've been working on recently. And then now I'm going to go through all my quilt alongs that I've been working on. Some I've finished, and I'm just going in order of oldest to newest, no particular order. It just makes it easier on my book. And this helps you when, this just helps you as you go. I do feel like on this one, you really have to get these seams flat because there's so many. And so I felt like this really helped. Oh, okay. So here's my little handy dandy binder. Okay, so Brightly Sampler, we're gonna start with this one. Okay, the quilt kit on this is now sold out. So now remember, I'm going in oldest to newest. So a lot of the older things, you're gonna see a lot of things are sold out because they're older and you know, things sell out. This is the Family Favorites book by Sherry and Chelsea and published by It's So Emma. And we have plenty of books in stock. What I'm gonna be showing you is, let's see, scroll down a little bit. This is Laguna Sunrise. So these are every block. Okay, I'm showing you every block that I've made, and next time you see this quilt, it will be sewn into a quilt. Now, I make all of the blocks, and then Teresa sews it into a quilt. And on this one, we have this coloring diagram that you can get for free. It's actually, the schedule is here. So the sew along ends next month, but I've made all of them. And if you want to look at how we colored it, even though we don't have the kit, you could use it as a color guide. And each time you make 4 blocks. So that's one. I don't know what the best way to show them is. Let me see. I think that's okay. Jordan, do you think that's okay? Okay, so that's one block. And again, Family Favorites, and this uses the Laguna Sunrise collection. by Sherry and Chelsea. This is another block, and I made these all in like January. So when I made them a long time, I mean, I'm not going to remember exactly what I did. I mean, I can tell you I for sure used the 4 at a time method, the half square triangle paper, and the square and a square paper for sure. I use size 90 needles for everything. So because I do so much foundation paper piecing, I use size 90 needle even when I'm doing a straight stitch. If I had to change my needle, it would never work because I am constantly doing foundation paper, square and a square paper, half square triangle paper. So that's just my standard. I just use 90. These are really cute. And these, this design is from the book, and it is Chelsea's favorite blocks. There's a sampler that Chelsea designed, and then there's a sampler that Sherry designed. And I know we do have a lot of Laguna Sunrise fabric in stock. We just don't have the quilt kit, so we have plenty of fat quarter bundles. And it's so fun to go back and look at these blocks, you know, months after. So Teresa will put this one into a quilt and we will show it to you when it's back. This is the white on white from the Laguna Sunrise collection. Sometimes I use Bella, sometimes I use white. At the end, I'm gonna get to show you a new Bella Solid that just came in stock. That I don't think I've shown you. The Milkmaid pattern says press open. Should I disregard? Okay, let me see one of those patterns. Let me see one of the blocks, sorry. This is my favorite one, by the way.
I think she's talking about this one.
I know, the back of, let me see the block.
Do you need a pad?
No, let me see the one that Teresa made.
None of these Teresa made. You made these.
Let me see the first one I made. That one right there. Yes, okay. Okay, so these are family favorites. This is gonna be into a quilt, and this one, the border is just background. The one thing I did do different is I didn't use any of the purples. So anytime there was a purple in the diagram that Sherry and Chelsea did, I just changed it. So that would be the only change I made. The background is sold out. It's from Laguna Sunrise. Okay, so this is a great question. When we say press open on the paper, we meant these seams. 1, 2, 3. That will definitely work if you want to press those open. These seams will not work. The ones I was talking about here, these will not work at all. Now, I didn't even like this one pressed open. So it might be that it's the 6-inch, but these are the seams that I think you can press open. The others, I would not. And I would say I actually think they're not. I don't think the 6-inch is harder than the 12-inch. I think the 12-inch, I think the 6-inch is just prettier, but I don't think it's significantly harder. Allie had asked that. Okay, so Denise says y'all are asking about here. Where does it say press open? Follow the, pay close attention, press open. Okay, so that's what I think that they're saying, to press these open, and you can. I just didn't like it. So it's kind of like personal preference. My team made all their blocks this way, and then when I made it, I did it this way. So there's not a hard and fast, you have to always do it a certain way. When I come on, I just show you my tips and what I think works best. And it's very rare for me to not press open. But I think because the pieces are so small, it just did not look good. I guess I should have maybe brought the one that is so ugly and y'all could have seen it. Somebody's asking why I switched to a size 90 needle. So a size 90 needle is, I don't know if it's,
Isn't it?
I think it's thicker. Actually don't know, but I know it's just better for foundation. It gives me better results for foundation paper. So maybe someone in the chat can answer, but it pierces the paper and the paper peels off better when I use a size 90 needle. So that is my definition of Y, Pamela. They're the same price, so really shouldn't matter. Okay, Corey Yoder is hosting a mystery block of the month. It's free. The last time I showed progress was April. So now I'm going to show you April blocks, May blocks, and June blocks. Let's see. So this is April, and the way I know it's April is it has a 4 on it. And these right here are the cutoffs from here. So basically this was a rectangle on a rectangle. So that's the cutoff from the back. And then on the back of this, I pressed open. So that's what I mean about, most of the time I do press open. And then these, I'm not sure what she's gonna do at the end with these. So I'm sure it'll be something cute. And so here, these are May blocks. And you can follow Corey Yoder at corianderquilts.com. This started in January 2025. And she does a video and she does a free blog post. So she does both. These blocks, these blocks are 12.5 and 3.5. And then these are June's. And so there are going to be 12 different months. This one, okay, this one you can use the Cali Co Fat Quarter Bundle. Do you have a size 80?
Let me dig.
We're probably gonna have to Google the answer. So this, you can use the Cali Co Fat Quarter Bundle for this one. That is still in stock. I use the white on white from the collection Cali Co, which is now sold out. And here it is in my book. I'm gonna cut my outer border 6.5 instead of 4.5. I didn't use the purples and grays. And so these right here, these grays down here, or these grays and purples, I didn't use those. So that would be the one change that I made. Okay, keep asking your questions. I'm starting to get sidetracked by your questions, so I'm going to just focus on what I'm doing. I'm going to answer all of your questions though, but I'm going to try to stay focused on this so I don't get too sidetracked. So this is a 2025 Quilting Life Block of the Month by Sherry and Chelsea, by Sherry McConnell, actually, aquiltinglife.com. I used Raspberry Summer and Laguna Sunrise in this one. I had to add Laguna Sunrise. This is a free quilt along. She posts this on the first Monday of every month. I'm gonna do a 3x4 layout with no sashing, and I'm gonna cut my border 7 inches wide, and I'm not sure what size she's doing. I'm actually not gonna do her setting. I'm actually gonna just connect these. And when you see all the blocks at the end of the year, you will see why I'm connecting them the way I am, because I'm creating kind of a ripple. Now, on a block like this, I don't press open. So really, that's what I mean about I just show you guys stuff. It depends what kind of mood I'm in, I think. We are going to get the new book by Doug and Gudrun. It is actually on our coming soon page already. So this was January. This is February. And so what I did with these is I used one colorway throughout because it's going to create that ripple effect. So that's February. This is March. and this is April. And so just to show you, two next to each other, on each of the ones that are the same color, I use the same 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, if that makes sense, so that they're gonna, when they join, they're gonna look really nice. So this is April, May, and June. So the 4 colorways I ended up with are pink and red, navy, peach, and this minty green. And I did try to do kind of a lighter in the, well, maybe not. Basically, the middle piece was a different shade than the outer, so you can see that a little bit different because I wanted them to not run together. This one, I will tell you, took me hours to color. And when I say hours, I probably mean 10 hours. I ended up just pulling from my stash. That's why I ended up using 2 collections. One thing is I didn't use any of her purple except on this one print. There's a little bit of purple. So that is A Quilting Life Block of the Month. The great thing about it is it's free throughout 2025. I think at the end of the year she makes it a paid pattern. But this one's also great for beginners, super easy, fun. Now we're going to move to something that's not super beginner friendly. It's the Vintage Christmas Quilt Along. This uses the Hometown Holiday Collection by Lori Holt and the Vintage Christmas book. We are sold out of the quilt kits. I do not know if we will be able to make more. If we do, it will probably be a couple of months out. Riley Blake is out of a lot of the fabrics. We do have this Vintage Christmas info sheet on our website that has all of the dates, and this is how it's going to look at the end. We did have a ton of kits, but that's when we do quilt alongs, we make a ton of kits, and sometimes they sell out and sometimes they don't. This one's going to finish at 66 by 74, and it goes from January to December. Now, I showed January through April already. Now I'm going to show May blocks, June blocks, and July blocks. And just so you can see, this is how we keep them. We just keep them bundled together, just so you can see how we do them. Okay, so this is May, and all of these have reels on them.
Julys are coming out.
Julys will be coming out throughout the month in July. So this is May's, and I just followed Lori's color placement that is on the sheet right here. I just followed that. I don't think I've made any substitutions. If I have, it's probably been on accident. These, I will say this month was pretty intense. These 2 are pretty difficult. But July's are super easy. And you know how I know is I made them on Monday or something. I made them this week. The blog. Okay, this is one thing that we took a lot of your feedback on. The blog has photos of every single block. You can click into it and print it on a big 8x10 page, or just have your screen open so that you can see exactly what's in the fabrics that she picked. And then this is the Cloud Small Vintage Trim. And then these July, I made them Monday, right? Monday or Tuesday. These were like, I think I did all of this in like an hour and a half. They were so easy. And then on this one, I cut this piece and this piece, these 2 pieces, 1/8 of an inch bigger, just because I knew when I made these, they came out a little bit smaller. So to account for it, and then it ended up okay. So this is the Vintage Christmas Quilt Along by Lori Holt. I have been sewing so much, I'm not sure how I don't have carpal tunnel. the next one that I'm sewing on is also Lori's. It's the Quilted Snowman. And so this one we did a very detailed sew along schedule. We started in January, and I'm actually not ahead at all on this one, you can tell, because a lot of times I used to sew ahead and I cheated. Now that we do reels, I really don't do that anymore because it takes me, I would say, not double the amount of time, but a lot more, because I have to, you know, stop and show and talk and all that. So this one I worked on this week. It uses the Quilted Snowman pattern. Okay, we have 20 kits left. I looked this morning. We have 5 backing sets left. When they're gone, just like the other quilt, if we can get more fabric, we will. But Riley Blake is sold out of a lot of the fabric right now. So the last time I showed this was in April, so this is May. And what was great about May is all of these blocks were made in previous months. And so literally all I did was put together some sashing pieces and put it together. So this one was easy. This was May. And this quilt's gonna be big. It's 87 by 97, so that's May. This one is June. I'm just doing it sideways. This one, do you think this was part of the previous, or do you think, yeah, okay. Okay, this was part of previous, but I had to sew this. This one didn't take long at all. And on this one, I've really liked working with the brown. At first, I was a little concerned because you can see it's directional. But in the end, because at first I was going to try to make this all directional where they all went one direction, and then I was like, you know what, I should not lose my mind. This one is June or July. I think it's June because I don't think I've done July yet. It's either June or July. These came from the previous month, and then I just had to add the sashing, and then this is what I sewed that month. Now on this one, when I sewed it together, I think I accidentally put one of the greens in the wrong spot, but I don't think Lori cares, and she won't be. So one of my greens, and this is the length of the quilt. This goes on the right side of the quilt. So it just is like that. It just keeps going and going. So this is probably June.
I think that
We think this is June. And then a great way to store this is to just fold it in half and see, sometimes I press open, sometimes I don't. I'll talk about that at the end.
I mean, these are June.
These are June. Do you have the Americana Scrappy here?
Yes.
Okay.
It is towards the end.
Okay. So this is July. So this was one block. This one, these were from previous months. This was all I had to piece, which is super easy. And then this was the second part of July. And the only hard part of this, I did it this week, I think, was this template. And my tip is I cut these two pieces, these backgrounds, bigger, and just trimmed it down because I was like, there's no way I can get that exactly right. And I love the square and a square paper for the eyes. I think they ended up looking really, really nice. This one started in January and it goes all the way till November. And this one, if you started, we kind of started with the hard first and now we're going to the easy. The hardest part of this one is going to be putting the whole quilt together. And so that's why I'm thankful for Teresa, because she will do that for me. Okay, so that's Lori's Quilted Snowman. The paper is, somebody asked, the pattern is available as paper or PDF. And then this, I just printed this from the blog. This is the Prairie Home sampler that I'm about to show you quilt along, and I've sewn through July. And this one, I use the B Bundle color and B Bundle background collection. There are a few color fat quarter bundles in stock. For the backgrounds, we only have 10-inch stackers in stock. We will make more bundles as we get more fabric. So this sew along uses the Prairie Home book by Lori Holt, and the quilt, oh, this is my notes. The picture of the quilt is on the website somewhere. So this one is,
That should be May.
we think this is May.
Jordan, can you scroll down?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is May. So we have shown we've shown the previous ones and previous, and then this one, to point out, I kept these the same direction and I kept the font the same direction. So that's May. This is June. And this sew along I think is great for beginners because the pieces are bigger. They're still picture blocks, but they're bigger. So they're a little bit easier.
That's July,
And then this is July.
and this is July.
And then this one, this is 2 print bundles or 2 print blocks, and this is 2 background blocks. And so basically these fabrics are inverted from these fabrics. And then this is the last block for July. And on this one, I did do mine differently than her book. She had this sewn, I think, a different way, and I ended up using half square triangle paper. And whatever I did, I talked about in the reel. The Snowman quilt does have the pattern in the kit. The Cali Co Fat Eighth bundle will not be available anymore. All of that fabric is sold out, so all we have left is the fat quarter bundle. So that's Prairie Home. Okay, Alicia, there's a question in there about this next one somewhere. The Scrappy Americana flag. Oh,
Jordan, scroll down.
let's see. Oh, right there. There was a red, white, and blue block. Scroll down. I can't remember where.
I'll find it.
Okay, so this Scrappy Americana flag, we have kits in stock. This one, there is a sew along paperwork online. This is what's in the quilt kit. The pattern is in the quilt kit. This one, I would say, is, I mean, it could be beginner. What's great about this pattern is it's designed by Lori. That's also what's great about it. But part of it, you can either do all of this piecing the traditional way or foundation paper piecing. And someone asked if we were discontinuing triangles on a roll. Absolutely not. Someone said I haven't been showing them in the reels. If I'm doing one block, I'm probably not going to use triangle paper. So if I'm doing a lot of blocks, I am going to use it. So, and also when I do the reels, I also consider how much time I have that day. So this is the first month. These were half square triangles. And so Kathy Crafty asked, will you be showing more paper piece blocks for my flag quilt? It will be useful to learn how to press open as there's so many seams. I'm gonna be doing those as reels. Right, Denise?
Yes.
Yeah. And so they're all, I mean, pretty much for the red and white blocks, they're pretty much very similar. So this was the first month, and each month you make 12. And if you look at the flag, this is a block, a square, a block, a square, a block, a square. So it's kind of a cool effect. Oh, this was this month's. And then these were the previous months. So this one is the one that we did the reel on. This is the one we did the live stream on. This is the one I did this week. They're pretty similar.
This
This
is the
one.
one that
This
you
is the
did
one.
Stream.
Okay, this is the one I did on stream. These are the, anyway, I don't know, but all the pressing is just the same technique. This one's gonna be really fun when it's done. I love it. So that one I am caught up. I'm not ahead at all. The Strippy Spools. Oh, I'm so excited to show you this. So we've done several videos on this. The Strippy Spools quilt kit, we have a couple left. So, and once that's gone, they will be gone forever. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you the blocks because we've talked about this quilt quite a bit. So you make 6 quilts with the spool on the left and the bobbin on the right. I'm gonna put them in stack order. And then you can just see my blocks. I finished all of them. Teresa's gonna put it together in a quilt. I think I finished it last week. This uses the Summertime Collection by Camille Kelly, and it's an It's So Emma pattern. Pattern is available in paper and PDF. And this is the one where on the live stream I cut way too many fabrics, which was funny, but also kind of ruined my weekend because anytime I make mistakes on the live stream, I get so upset with myself. So here's my blocks. I love them. I think the variety of colors is great. I think this would be great. I think eventually I'll make this as a scrappy quilt for the future. Now, one hint, on Tuesday this week, I started a new scrappy quilt, and I've already made 2 blocks. So I'm gonna get to show you that in a little bit. So these were for the front of the quilt. And for the back of the quilt, I basically made 1 block, but right here, I put one of the Sweetwater labels in here and just, then I also made a white border around and a blue border around, and I just did that with leftover fabric. This is 1 inch finished. These will both be 1 inch finished borders on the outside. So that's exciting because I'm totally done. So next time you see that, that will be in a quilt. Moda Blockheads, I am using the A Bloom collection, and I'm using background 29146111. And I'm gonna show you all the blocks I've made so far. They're in order of how the blocks have been released. Now this one, on this one, you can use the My Favorite Color is Moda booklet, or you can just wait until every Wednesday and get the free pattern on Moda's site. So decide which way. They're not going in order of the booklet, they're going out of order. So I'm just showing you the blocks that I've made so far. I'm using the Bloom Fat Quarter Bundle, and then this is a coriander seed fabric. And I have not decided on finishing at all. I have no idea how I'm finishing this quilt. None. I made this one, I think, this weekend. This one was a challenge. So those are my blockhead blocks. And then when we move, don't some of these turn into different sizes later?
Yes.
Okay, so some of these are 9 inches, and some of them I believe are 18 inches. So this is kind of where I'm at on this. Now, one thing I'm doing is I'm trying to put some low volumes in here to keep my, to have enough fabric. There is a dark charcoal in this collection that I have, and a light gray in this collection, and I'm not using either one. I think they're beautiful. I'm trying to make these scrappy, so you can see 2 different aquas, 2 different greens. 4 light peaches, 2 dark peaches, 2 greens, 4 aquas. Each block I'm using a lot of the same color, but making it very scrappy within. This one I can tell you was hard. And this one, funny story is, I did a reel on this one and I somehow deleted it. And so that's why you don't see a reel on this one. Is my fault. But I ended up using the half rectangle ruler, and I had to do it. I ruined a lot of fabric making it because I just got confused. But like this one, 4 peaches, 4 blues, 4 greens, 4 blues, 1 peach. Do you see what I'm saying? So like I'm just trying to make my fabric last, if that makes sense. And trying to, and then if I have, like on this one, I have leftover, if I have leftover, I'm saving them. I think on this one, I just use the other half on the other block. But this one's gonna be really pretty when it's done. I have no idea how I'm finishing it. It started in May, so you still have time to join. And like I said, you can either get the My Favorite Color is Still Moda booklet, or you can do the free pattern each Wednesday on Moda's blog and Moda's Facebook page. Okay, this next one is the Americana Flower Farm Quilt Along. Well, first let me show you this. I have the Americana Quilt Along at the beginning of, I have a lot of binders at home. This is like just some of my binders, and the problem is I have so many binders that me and Denise don't know where the binders are at any time. But okay, so My Favorite Moda is, this is the booklet that I'm talking about. So what I did is I bought it and I put it in a 3-ring binder, and as I'm done, I gotta find one that's done. Oh, see right there. So if I've done the block, I write done at the top so I don't make it a second time. And then I've colored all the blocks in the back and they say done. They have notes on them. Now, when I sew the blocks, sometimes I change the colors because I can tell you right now I didn't use these colors. And then I put notes. So this is all in this binder. At the beginning of the binder is the Americana Flower Farm Quilt Along, which I'm having so much fun doing. This uses the Flower Farm Sampler book by Shelly Kavana. I love it. And on this one, I am using the Americana collection by Lori Holt. And we have on our site fabric requirement list, a release date, and detailed coloring of each block. And you can see at the top, I write done. And then I put notes as I go. So I'm actually, I just finished part of July. And I'm gonna show you my blocks. Jordan, is this as far as you can go out? So you're probably not gonna be able to see the whole block. There, we're good. Okay, right there. So, and these, I just made these exactly like Lori colored them, and that information is all on Fat Quarter Shop's website. The instructions are in the book. I did press all of these open. Now, these take a lot of time. This is like a all day thing. This quilt will be, this is a lot of work. I love it, but this is advanced. This is no easy task. This one I loved because look, that's 1 square. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's 1 square. I don't have to piece. I did this one on Tuesday, I think, of this week. But these take all day. This one's going to be beautiful. Now, this one, Shelly Kavana was a guest on our live stream. She's also hosting a quilt along with us, so you can either join hers or ours. Hers, she's starting with everything easy first, whereas we're starting with everything hard first. So it's kind of up to you on what you want to do. We did just load her newest collection, Among the Wildflowers 2. And then this sew along started in June. It's going to go all the way to March of next year. Okay, let's stop and take questions because we're gonna move to Scrappy Quilts, and I feel like there's a lot of questions, and if I keep going, I'm gonna get them all confused. Do I pre-shrink flannel backing for a baby quilt? I don't really sew with flannel, but I would starch flannel or pre-wash it. Moda Blockheads, I'm using the Bloom collection, and the background is 2914-611, which I believe is a coriander seed fabric. So for Blockhead 6, sometimes you make 2 of each block, sometimes you make 1. And for that one, can I see that binder? Sorry. This is the finishing right here. And so you can see some of the blocks are used twice, some of the blocks are used once. Now I'm not doing any of these fabrics, any of these navies with navy background. So I don't know if I'm using this finishing or not. I'm just making the blocks, and then somehow I will be like inspired to do something at some point. Who knows what will come out of my brain. Libby Gay asks, are big blocks easier to make? I think it kind of depends. I mean, I prefer to make smaller blocks because they're harder, so yes. Colleen says, I finished Strawberry Garden block of the month. It's back from the quilter. Would any of Lori's vintage trim coordinate with the fig tree line? Yes, Cloud does. And maybe Coral, but I do think several of them do coordinate. Now, years ago, like years and years ago, when she first came out with the vintage trim, I bought one of each, and I have all of them. I haven't kept up with buying the newer colors, but I have them at home, and so then I just pull them out and match them. Will other colorings be posted for the Americana flower sampler? No, but if you go to Facebook and you search Flower Farm Sampler Quilt Along group, you can join the group that Shelly has created, and lots of people are posting blocks, and you can look at those blocks. Reels are short videos that we put on Facebook or Instagram. Perry Winkle Stitcher, which blocks are more advanced? Lori's Vintage Christmas 6-inch or the Flower Farm Sampler using Americana fabrics? Okay, leave that up. I think the 6-inch Christmas are easier because they don't take as much time, but I think they're both hard. The Americana quilt, that you got to have 8 hours. For 2 blocks, 8 hours, solid. What is the new Juki I purchased? I don't even know. I think it's like a Juki 9000. I would call Juki Junkies and tell them that I sent you. I have no idea what I ordered. How can I use vintage trims in finishing my quilt? You can put them in the binding. I don't think, yeah, right here. Do you want to, here, I think we can, I'll show this. Look, we're going to do magic. Right here, you can put, this is vintage trim. You can put it right in the binding. Very easy. Can you see it, Jordan? Mm-hmm. Hopefully the ladder doesn't fall. Am I considering doing the Jane Austen quilt along or offering the quilt along kit? We have the kit. It is online. We were only able to make a certain amount, but we still have a lot left. But when they're sold out, I'm not sure we're going to be able to make more. So the pattern behind me right here is Spangled by Kim Deal, published by It's So Emma. It's available as a paper or a PDF. This one I made about 2 years ago, and I was in the Lori Holt Fat Quarter Club, and I just used fabrics from that. Plus, I added some backgrounds from my stash to make this. Will the Autumn Sprig background be restocked? Yes. Do you know when that's coming back from Americana? So Riley Blake, they've been selling, it's been selling really well for us, and we've been running out. It is selling so good that we can't keep it in stock. We are reordering, and they ship really fast. I believe that it's going to be in stock next week, but I'm reordering that all the time. And when I say reordering, I'm not ordering a bolt. I'm ordering hundreds of yards of all of it. So how do I post my blogs on Fat Quarter Facebook? So you can join Kimberly Stitch Squad, which is a group on Facebook, and you can post there. Designer Mystery Finishing Kit invoices will go out. I don't know the date. It will be July. The delay is the box. The box is sitting in the where stuff comes in. What's that called?
Port.
The port. It's sitting in the port. It's been in the port for a very long time, and so we ordered it on time, but it just hasn't been cleared through customs or whatever. What is the best size triangles on a roll to use for starched charm packs? I would do 3.5. Does Riley Blake reprint Lori Holt fabrics continuously? I'm hoping for a restock. I am hoping for a restock on the Autumn Sprig. Yes, that one will, the Autumn Sprig will come back in stock, yes. Some of her older fabrics like bee ginghams and bee plaids this week, some of them have started to go out of print. But the Americana fabric is all in print, all being reordered. So yes, Americana will be back in stock. Is the 6-inch Milkmaid significantly harder than the 12-inch? I mean, it's relative, but I would say yes. Lori has an embroidery pattern with a USB, but I would like to know if you can make those embroidery patterns. The fabric requirement bundles, thank you. We are not kidding those. I've noticed in your reels you haven't been using triangles on a roll. Are they being discontinued? No. So that one, if it's just 1 or 2 blocks, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna pull the paper. A 90, oh, this is good. Sharon McGregor, thank you. Okay, look, I'm gonna read it and Jordan's gonna show this. A 90 needle is larger and thicker. The higher number of the needle, the thicker it is. It makes the larger holes so the paper tears off easily. Thank you, Sharon. Okay. So this is an 80 and this is a 90. To me, they look the same, but I guess the 90 is a little bit bigger. I just find that it works better and the needle will last longer. I'm not a scientist. I'm not gonna ruin these needles. I'm gonna put them right back. And the good thing about, oh, and I use Schmetz. Somebody asked what brand I use. Okay.
People want to know about Up on the Rooftop, the fabric requirements, and wanting to know when Old World Yuletide is coming back into stock. That's the collection that has not arrived yet.
We are waiting. It might be early August. We don't know. We check that date daily. We actually check with Moda. It just has not arrived. I think it's stuck in the port. So Up on the Rooftop has been delayed. Fabric requirements will come out closer to when the kits come out, and we're just waiting for the kits to come out. And you know, it's kind of interesting because like some years everything is smooth. We never delay. And then the years that it's delayed, everything is delayed. So I think it's just kind of part of just living in the world that we live in. Some things are delayed. There's really nothing we can do about it. But I really wanted that deer to be brown, and if we would have just used the basic gray collection, that deer would not have been brown. It would have been black or some kind of crazy green. And so, you know, I made a decision that's going to make the quilt look the best. Will the Ruby Star Society come back? It should be in stock. It's not? We're working on it, but we should be able to bring that back. I mean, we ordered plenty of that. We should be able to put that back online. Oh, for a quilt along like vintage Christmas, do I cut the entire year or month by month? Month by month. The Americana flower farm will be 80 by 100. How would Kimberly piece the backing? And does the yardage include extra for putting on a long arm machine? Yes, the backing has enough for the long arm always. We account for 8 to 10 inches around the edge. That would give you 4 to 5 inches around each side. I have no idea off the top of my head if I would do vertical or horizontal. I really don't even think about that until the end because I'm usually I probably on that quilt will make an extra block, huge, put my label in it somehow, and then figure out how to add stuff. So I'm probably not going to just do a plain one. What solid white would I go with the Americana collection? Color, I would do C120 vintage white, which is a confetti cotton. Are there any quilts in the Prairie Home book that are fat quarter friendly? There are a lot, and I'm going to show you a new Scrappy quilt coming up that I'm making from that. Would a beginner be able to make the Jane Austen anniversary quilt? No, I don't think so. That one, just so you know, I don't know the name of the quilt off the top of my head. It is designed by Lori Holt. Lori is going to be piecing it. She actually bought the kit from us, and she made a So Simple Shape applique set for that particular quilt. I really enjoyed you doing the petite tour quilt with your foundation. Will I be doing more quilt-alongs like that? Yeah, probably. We haven't planned next year yet. We will not have any more Kona solids at all ever again. There's a question in there for that. When would you or would you not starch your fabric? Doesn't it stress you out? No. Okay, I always starch my fabric. If I cannot starch my fabric, I will not make a quilt because I am just so like stuck in my ways. And so I always starch my fabric, and I keep those little Fat Quarter Shop labels. I don't think we have any in here. We're gonna have to bring some. The little sticky labels that we put, and I just put not starched. What are those called? They're new.
The fabric label stickers?
Yeah.
I think that's what they're called.
I think they're called fabric label stickers, but anything that's not starched, I put a label on there and put not starched, and then everything else is starched. So most of the stuff I have is starched, so that's what I use those labels for. Hi, Doug. So somebody asked about your book. I told them it's on our coming soon page. He has a new book coming out with Gudrun. If you want to know more about that, that has been on Gudrun's live stream from this week. If you do not subscribe to her, her company is GE Quilts. She is the designer behind Stripology. And I'm so excited because I get to see Doug in August. He's probably going to see me in tears because I'm going to see him right after Kevin and I drop off Emma at college. And I just don't know how I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to get through all this. I was asking her yesterday, I was like, aren't you nervous? And she was like, no. I was like, you're not nervous at all? She's like, no. I think she wanted to say, Mom, I want to get the heck out of here and get away from you. That's what I think she wanted to say to me. Okay. Starching does shrink your fabric, but I starch it and let it dry before I start. And then once it's pre-shrunk, when I make my blocks, it doesn't shrink any further. Okay, so now I'm going to stop with questions because I'm going to get too confused. I'm going to move to my Scrappy quilts. Now, one great thing is I have just finished 2 or 3 of my Scrappy quilts that I started in the last couple of years, and I started a new one. And the new one is totally, okay, let me answer. Okay, so people are now asking about Kona. We are no longer carrying Kona cotton. We are no longer carrying Robert Kaufman. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to know more, you could Google it. Okay, so Scrappy quilts. That was good, right? Scrappy Quilts. So, I just finished, I don't know how many I just finished, but I'm so excited because I love to finish a quilt, but this next one I've been doing since forever ago. So, where do you think this one, where do you think the paperwork, I never did paperwork on this.
It's in there. Everything's in your binder.
It is, okay, hold on. Here we go. I got out of order. I started talking.
It should be.
Who knows? Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Bitty Brick House. I started it in January of 2023. We are in June of 2025. That is 2.5 years. I am now done. So, Bitty Brick House is a completely free pattern that Jocelyn designed, and it is on Fat Quarter Shop's website. We have the regular Bitty Brick House, we have the Bitty Brick House, and then we have the Big Brick House. And I made blocks using the Bitty Brick House, and I've made 42 blocks. Now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to do a 6x7 layout, which is 42 blocks. I'm gonna cut 56 1.5-inch cornerstones, and I cut those using 29 195-39, which, look it up, 29195-39. I have no idea what that is because I didn't put it here. We're gonna look up and see what that is.
Say it one more time.
Okay, 29195-39.
It is Cali Co.
Cali Co. What color?
C.
It's aqua. So I put an aqua. I'm gonna use one aqua. For the borders, I'm gonna cut them 4 inches wide. My sashing is gonna be 1.5 by 6.5 and 1.5 by 7. My border is 29146-11. My binding is the same as the cornerstones, and so you will see all of that once it's quilted and put together. But I'm gonna get to show you all my blocks, which is super exciting. Okay, so leave that one there. Okay, I'm just gonna lay them out. I'm gonna guess the designer. So that's Sweetwater. They all have, each of these has a different fabric on each row. No fabric is used twice. I have a low volume in the door and one background on each block. Some of them use the same background. Most of them are just different. So this is Sweetwater, Americana, Sherry and Chelsea, My So Quilty Life, Moda Fabrics, Ann Sutton, Lori Holt, Sweetwater, Camille Ross Kelly, and Corey Yoder. I think that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a reason I'm counting because I can't remember what I did. Camille Ross Kelly, Lori Holt, April Rosenthal, Sweetwater, Vanessa Gertson, My So Quilty Life, American Jane, Sherry and Chelsea, Fig Tree, Big Tree. Camille Ross Kelly, Vanessa Gertson, Sherry and Chelsea. This was their Christmas line. Sherry and Chelsea, Brenda Riddle, Sweetwater, My So Quilty Life, American Jane, Corey Yoder, Sherry and Chelsea. Okay. Minnick and Simpson. So this was, I think, their last collection they did. Camille Ross Kelly, Lori Holt, My So Quilty Life, Ann Sutton, Camille Ross Kelly, Lori Holt, Corey Yoder, Fig Tree, Sherry and Chelsea, Lori Holt. So that's 41. My last block has a label in it. This is Corey Yoder. You think that's Corey Yoder?
Is that Delightfully Yours, maybe? Or no?
I don't know. I think it's Corey Yoder. And so here I just have a little label that says Kimberly Jolly. It says handmade. It's by Sweetwater. This will go on the very bottom right of the quilt so that on the back I can just do a backing and not have to put a label on the back. Now, this one you will see that I don't have as many notes on it. You could take a screenshot of this if you want to know exactly how I am doing my layout. Teresa is going to be sewing it and putting it all together. And but that's the way I'm going to do the layout. It's going to end up basically 54 by 65. I have two different sizes here, but it's somewhere in that vicinity. But this was 2.5 years. Love it. I might make another one. It's kind of addicting. And then this, just so you can see that black line? That's from a friction pen that I just haven't ironed off. That means I cut it bigger. 25 patches. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one I started in 2023, October. This one, there is a blog tutorial. Each block uses 2.5-inch squares, 25 of them. My sashing, let's see. I'm doing a 5 by 6 layout. Each block is a different collection. My quilt center is going to be 62.5 by 74.5. I'm going to do 42 2.5-inch cornerstones, 71 2.5 by 10.5-inch rectangles. My borders are going to be cut 6.5 inches. And my cornerstones, oh, do we have that here? We didn't bring it.
Teresa, she's probably starching it.
Oh, no, the cornerstones, I had cut them. We'll show them when we put the quilt together. We'll show them. But basically, in my cornerstones, I went through my stash and I pulled cornerstones from Apricot and Ash, Sunny Side Up, and Strawberry Jam, cut them up into the 2.5-inch squares. Those were all from charm packs I had sitting around. So my cornerstones will all be Corey Yoder. So I'm going to show you my blocks. This is the block that's going to go in the bottom right. It has my label in it. This is Corey Yoder. Vanessa Gertson, Bunny Hill, Fig Tree, My So Quilty Life, Sherry and Chelsea. Y'all see a repeat, right? You see a continuity to what I'm doing. This is 30s Playtime by Moda, Sweetwater, Sherry and Chelsea, Fig Tree, Camille, My So Quilty Life, My So Quilty Life, Lori Holt, I think this is from the last Minnick and Simpson collection, Sweetwater, Lori Holt, Cali Co, Corey Yoder. This is Stacy Itsu, that little farm group. I just think it's really cute. Lori Holt, Camille, Ann Sutton, Lori Holt, Camille, Corey Yoder, Sherry and Chelsea, Fig Tree. I think this is 30s Playtime by Moda, My So Quilty Life, and Fig Tree. And thank you for the comment. Lehman Tooth says, I really like how you're incorporating your labels into the front of the quilts. Yeah, it makes it go just a lot quicker, and it makes it easier for Teresa to put it together and not have to worry about that when she gets the quilt. So if you take this quilt, if you do some math, and we're going to do the math, we have a 5x6 layout, we have 25 fabrics in each, and we have 42 cornerstones. This quilt will have 792 fabrics in it. So, really fun. Really.
Will this work with mini charm packs?
This will work with mini charm packs if you do not starch. If you starch, they will not be 2.5-inch squares. I use leftover cap sets to, and this one I didn't press open. I bet some of them I did and some of them I didn't. Nope, I didn't press any of them open. I do try to put a note in my book so that when I'm sewing something, I can remember, because these, if you work on something over a couple years, you can't remember what you did. Okay, Woven Star Scrappy. Okay, this is the one that's gonna continue. So I recently finished the 25 patch, the Bitty Brick House, and one other. What was the other Scrappy that I just finished? I don't know. There was another one. If y'all can remember, let me know. This one, I have made 50 blocks. This uses the Woven Star 6-inch paper by It's So Emma, which is named after Emma Jolly. And these all use the same background. I'm going to make 80 blocks. The white I'm using is 29146111, which is a coriander seed, and it's a white. It's the plus signs, or actually it's X's. I am gonna do, each block has that one background and 8 different fabrics. I am going to be using the setting Grandma's Donut Quilt from the Scrappiness is Happiness book on page 138 to put them together. I have 50 done, so I need 30 left. So not too many more. This is a new Riley Blake blue. I made it yesterday. Blue, some horse thing, blue something. Bluegrass. Corey Yoder. Vanessa Gertson, Camille. I'm just going to lay these out. How about that? Not test myself. Now you'll see these are great for charm packs. And I think this quilt's going to be beautiful. I have not decided on cornerstones yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this one in, to be honest, because the prints are so big that I think it kind of sticks out. This is, I think that's Jane. I don't know. Oh, let me see. This is Anne of Green Gables. This is Sunset, Minky Kim. This is Petite. Precious Petites. And then that's all. I'm not going to try to guess. This is a Benartex April Cornell. So this one's fun. So this one's going to keep going, and then the one I show you next is going to be the next Scrappy quilt. And then as I finish each Scrappy quilt, I replace it with a new one. Now I wanted you to notice, if you look at the first one that I showed you, it was the Bitty Brick House. Super tiny pieces, right? So I was like, oh, I should use bigger pieces. So then I went to the 2.5-inch squares. And then I was like, I still have too much fabric left over. So now I'm using this one, but the next one I use is gonna be using, I'm not sure that it's very scrappy, but I'm still gonna call it Scrappy. And it's just going to use a lot bigger pieces. I started it on Tuesday. and I made one last night. Do I iron after I starch? Yes. After it's completely dried, I iron it. There's someone in here that helps me starch. His name is Peyton, and he's looking at me like, please don't talk about starching anymore. He tries to hide from me when we starch. So this one, and then this is a new Riley Blake Gingerbread Kisses by Doodlebug. The cornerstones, I have not decided yet. I do not know what they're gonna be until I get to that point. I'm not sure if I will keep them scrappy like I did with the other one where I did scrappy with all one designer. It kind of depends what I find and what I have left over right then and what I can find on my shelf. Because when I do scrappy quilts, my goal is to not buy anything. Okay, so that is ongoing. I should probably be able to finish it a year. This next one, Prairie Home Book. I'm going to show you the pattern that I picked. On my book, I tell you what page number. That's what I was looking for. So it's the Hearth and Home Quilt. I'm going to turn to this page so you can't see the instructions, the cutting instructions. The biggest piece in this block is 2.5 by 10.5, so it's not layer cake friendly. But I had to make this quilt. This was one of the quilts that I just loved when we did the photo shoot. This is from the brand new Prairie Home Book by Lori Holt, and I'm going to show you, this is going to be my next scrap quilt. I'm going to have 4 blocks done by the end of this weekend. So I made this one last night. Okay, so I'm using one background. I'm using my favorite white on white, 20708-36. Okay, I asked Moda if we can reprint it. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, so we do have a lot of it left, but once this is gone, I'm not sure we're going to be able to reprint it. I got that note this week. They're still going to get back to me. So this uses 20 strips on the outside, 1 background, and I decided to use 3 fabrics on the inside of one color. So this is Lighter Rose by Bunny Hill. And this is, what is this one called? Wild Honey by Layla Boutique. So you can see I'm using one color on the inside. Now I'm gonna try to not do them all the same. So like my next one I'll do green or yellow or orange, or I'm gonna try to keep that. And then I am having to use a little bit of low volume. I'm just doing a little bit though, because to be able to get enough fabrics. But this one's gonna be great. This one just I don't think I'm gonna add a border, but I'm reserve the right to change my mind on that. But this one's going to be fun. I am pressing this one open. So, it just kind of depends. For Sharon asks, what thread do I recommend for sewing machines? So I use 100% cotton. I use Aurifil Color 2000. You could use Metler Color 100. I just like to use a white thread. For Woven Stars background, I would probably start with 5 yards because there is a lot of waste in that. 5 yards is my go-to. If I don't know what to buy, I buy 5 yards. But I also, in my stash, have several full bolts of Corey Yoder, the 2914-611. I have a full bolt of 20708-36. I have a full bolt of Bella 60 and a full bolt of Bella 200. So I'm kind of lucky. Okay. Oh, these are my finished quilts. Okay, so my son Peyton's going to hold them up, and I'm going to talk about them as he holds them up. Okay, I might have to help you, right? Or Alicia might have to, because I'm going to, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Okay, here we go. Alicia, will you come to this side? And then I'm going to read from my book so I can remember. Okay, you got it. Okay, this is called Hearth and Home. It is, no, this is not. This is called Hometown Holiday Sampler. The kit, I'm not sure if it's sold out. Joanna Marsh quilted this. I started it in August of 2024 and I finished it this January. This has the alphabet. It has mistletoe and then stars in each corner. And I pieced the blocks and Teresa did all of the assembly, which I think the assembly probably took a lot longer than the rest. And you know, I think she might have done the bottom row for me too. I honestly can't remember. Okay, so we're gonna show it to you on the table. It's huge. It is 93 by 98, so it's a ginormous. This is the backing that I used. Thank you for the super chat, Jenna Stewart. She says, love this quilt. Okay, this quilt is huge. So we're gonna like pull it that way and then come back around the other way. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it because of this thing right there, Jordan.
It's not gonna be good.
Okay, then we're not gonna do it. So we're gonna do this, and then fold it. We'll just fold it as we go. Like, fold it. Yeah, and then go. Sorry, we have a camera stand in the way. I think she might have also done my star blocks. I always want to give credit when people help me out. Oh, I want to, yeah. So here's how the border looks. This is using the Hometown Holiday Collection, and this is one where we're out of a lot of the kits because I'm not sure if they're reprinting it. Now the bottom row I love. There's, in the border, there's 4 star blocks, and if you go this way, you can see there's trees, a house, and then trees. So super exciting. Oh, and then the back. Teresa did this. I know Teresa did this. I can tell. So this is a 108 fabric, and then she made this block using leftover fabrics, and then she pieced it on top. She probably fused it down and then hand pieced it down, and then they quilted on top of it so you can't take it off. The next quilt is the Quilty Fun Sew Along that we did. This one is 68 by 86.
Two people that are the same blanket.
Sorry. We have different people in here today and we're all different heights.
Scoot this way.
Are you good now? Okay. So this was a quilt kit. I think we do have some of these in stock. These are all different fabrics of Lori's. She hand-picked all of this fabric for us to do the quilt along, and I pieced the blocks or the rows. Teresa put it all together. She pieced this also. She also did the binding, because I can tell you if I did this binding right here, it would not look good. It would not look like this. So, okay, let's put it on the table. Okay, there we go. So let's look at this binding. So these, I think, are 10-inch strips. She put a sleeve on the back, and I'm not sure how we did the label. Let me look. Oh, I'll show you the label. The label I will show you is part of the book. So when we did the quilt along, each one was a different row. This was the very first book we published for Lori under It's So Emma, and so this one is, I think it's 12 years, the book is now 12 years old. On the back, we have a big block in the center. And so the instructions for this are all in the book, and all of this embroidery Teresa did, because I can tell you I couldn't do that. And then I put my label in here, and then this is just one of her backgrounds. But I love the touch of this binding. I think it looks great. I'm not sure where this quilt is going to go, but I think I have an idea. I think we should put it in the conference room downstairs. Okay, this is the 2025 Riley Blake Mystery Quilt Along. This is a completely free pattern on Riley Blake's website. Lori Holt colored this for us using the Peace and Plenty collection. It's 72 inches square. I did cut my borders. I think I cut them 2 inches wider. And then I'll put it on the table.
Do you want to flip it? To the
Well, this
right.
one, yeah, sorry. Oh, Quilty Fun Row Along was quilted by Gina Tell, and this quilt is quilted by Gina Tell. And thank you to Lori for coloring this for us. And thank you to Riley Blake for the free pattern. And I'm going to show you the backing. It's just a backing, and I put a label right here. And it kind of sticks out. I don't really love it because the label is so white. So if I had to redo it again, I would probably just leave this as sashing and put something on the back so it wouldn't be so stark. I don't know. I don't love that. Oh, this next quilt. This one I love. This is Strawberry Garden.
Show the backing on this one too.
Okay. Well, oh yeah. Okay. This is Strawberry Garden by Fig Tree Quilts. This is a book by Joanna Figueroa that It's So Emma published. I made this in 2024, 2025. I pieced the blocks. Teresa pieced it together, and then this used the Jelly and Jam collection, the Eyelet collection, and linen cupboard collection. It's 60 by 70, and we're going to show it to you on the table and show you the backing. And the backing was all done by Teresa. You're going to love it. Okay. This one was quilted by Joanna Marsh. Look how cute this is. Okay, 100% credit goes to Teresa who did this. So I'm not sure if these were left over. I think they were left over from the quilt, and she just put a border. Someone's asking about vintage trim, apparently.
This was a question
Okay.
during stream that they completed this quilt and what vintage trim would match.
Okay, this one is Cloud, I believe. Yes, Cloud. I think it would look good. That's one. Okay, let's flip it over. Sorry, Jordan. I think this yellow might be, if we put it, this is the yellow. I think that's a little much. And so this is Beehive, and this is Riley Red. I like the Cloud. I feel like putting yeah, what do you think?
I like the color.
I think these two would distract from the inside of the quilt. And it's not an exact match. I do want to be clear. It's not an exact match, but to me, it's close enough. I feel like if there was a pink or a coral that would match, but I can't think of one right now. Okay, this next one is ginormous. Did I make this one?
Yep.
I don't even remember making this. Okay. This is the Quilted Scarecrow. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember making this. Okay, I finished this in March of this year. This is the Autumn Collection by Riley Blake. The pattern is available as a pattern or a PDF. We did this as a sew-along, and I pieced the blocks. Teresa put it together, and then Teresa did the rickrack and the buttons, and I'll show that to you up close. Sorry, these are really heavy, guys. And look at how amazing that binding is. Teresa gets all the credit because if I did a binding that was striped like that, it would not come out that good. The buttons and the rickrack I wanted to talk about. So it looks like she glued that down. Yeah, she glued that down. These 4 buttons were put on after the quilting. This one was quilted by Joanna Marsh. And I don't think on this one I made any color changes. I think I just made it the same. I think I just made whatever Lori put in the quilt. Yes. The label on the back was done by Teresa. And this was in the pattern. There was you made 1 extra block. So she just put borders on it. And then this is probably a 108. Let me see. This is a 108 per Denise. And so she just folded this under, and then when it's quilted in. They're tired. Okay, there's 2 more. Okay, this next one is this one was started this year and finished this year. This is Handiwork by Corey Yoder. This one, I actually made the whole thing. And so I got to the end and Teresa was like, you have a block flip, would you like me to fix it? And I was like, well, if you noticed it and if you want to fix it, yes. I don't know what block it was. But this is called Handiwork. This is a pattern by Corey Yoder. These right here are panel prints. Love it. Okay, we're gonna show it on the table. It's 77, no it's not. It is 68 by 85. This one I used 2 A Bloom layer cakes, 1 panel, and this right here is 9900 color 200. And so these are just layer cake squares. And I love the quilting on this. It is done by Joanna Marsh. These are ½ an inch apart. The binding is this aqua. Let's see what we did on the backing. I don't know. I think I might have put a label in the front. Oh, I did the back. Okay, I did this as a reel. Now I remember. So I had leftover layer cake squares, and I used one of them to add this, and then went across. But I still had more. This was kind of my darkers that were left over. I still had a lot of light layer cakes. So I just made a little. The reason why is I didn't want to have to buy more of this yardage. Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what I had and why, but I didn't want to buy more. So I added this strip to make it wide enough to add. And then I just drew this out, but I needed to get this wider so I didn't have to buy more. So that's why I did that. And then the next quilt is our Stardust Charity Quilt. This one was quilted by, oh sorry, Peyton, I almost thought he got stuck in the camera. This is our Stardust Charity Quilt, quilted by Gina Tell. And thank you to everyone who donated to Make-A-Wish for that. We can put it on the table now. So this one is just like a clamshell. And then on the backing, she put this label on top of the backing fabric, and then it was quilted in. Okay, so huge shout out to Teresa for piecing all of those together. I only pieced one of them, so I could not do it without her. One thing I wanted to talk about with this paperwork is what Denise and I do, because I really do try to keep as many notes as possible on here. So these are completed quilts. So she'll take this after and put this in another binder so that if people want to know what I did, we can go back and see if I have notes. Hopefully I kept as many notes as possible. Then this goes home with me because these are all in process. And then, like, for example, last night I made a block. I just need to fill it in. And that's how we try to stay organized. I try to keep notes of what I'm thinking so that I'm like, oh, well, how am I going to put that together? Well, I did put this, but I still don't know. I might change the border is what that means, basically. The size to be determined means I'm not sure about the border. This means I need to pick the SKUs still. So I try to keep little notes for myself of what I'm doing. And I kind of really do it for you guys because for me, I'm just making, what I do is I just make quilts that I like. I make quilts that I love. I make quilts that inspire me. I keep the notes so that if y'all want to do something similar, that they're there. Otherwise, I would not keep as many notes. I'm going to answer questions before I move to talking about a new Bella Solid and all the new fabric sitting up here. How many stars can you get from a charm pack with the papers? If you use all of the fabrics, including the low volume, you can get 5. How much back, oh, I already answered that. I know you're big on starching, but how do you feel about the starch pins? Okay, so the new starch pins I have not used. There is a pin that was used starched by Acorn Precision Quilting that I used one time, and I do remember liking it, but other than, I don't know much about them, basically. I don't know. Oh, thank you to Bonnie Eisenhower for the super chat. Fat Quarter Shop is the best. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, C. Michelle. Thank you so much for the free content. Thank you. Will Americana half-yard bundles be restocked? Yes. I think that we restocked them yesterday. If they're already sold out, I order that collection every day. Which white goes better with Lori's fabric? Bella or confetti cotton? Well, since her fabric is Riley Blake, I would probably use C120 confetti white. Vintage white. If I didn't want to buy the quilt kit with tulip pink gray work, would you sell the pattern separately because I'm buying the bundle? I don't remember off the top of my head about that kit. A lot of times if we buy a quilt kit and the pattern has, the designer has a pattern they sell separately, we will sell that pattern. Sometimes manufacturers will only put that pattern in the kit. If they do that, then we cannot sell it separately because that's part of the kit. Will you alternate the 25 patch blocks with a solid? I don't remember what
In your setting.
I know in my setting. I don't remember what I'm doing with my setting, so let's wait until I get it put together. I don't remember what I'm doing. Wild honey will be available to purchase later in the year. I have 5 yards for the Prairie Home quilt along. Is that enough for backing? Probably not. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Okay, go to the very bottom. Do I ever do the project you talked about using cut off half square triangles? I did a, God, that was years ago. I did that one that Jocelyn put together that was like I remember putting all those half square triangles together into something, but it was so long ago. We'd have to look.
I want to say it was a members only video.
I think it was a members only video. I prefer the designer mystery a month late. Will I receive month 1 along with month 2? Email Janelle at fatquartershop.com. In July, are you doing live weeklies for Christmas Stitch Along? I'm doing pre-records for those. My preferred binding is 2.5 inches wide. Have I considered entering my work in a quilt show or contest? No. I mean, I think I'm so like a perfectionist. If I was going to put it into a show, I would be even more of a perfectionist and I'd probably drive myself crazy. Could I tea dye the bright label? I don't know. We could ask Teresa. That's a good idea. Since you are so creative with your backing, would you try a tutorial on how to dress up your backing and borders? I think I've done it on live stream before. I've done it in reels. I mean, we can do something on it. Can I show the back where the buttons were sewn on the scarecrow quilt? Yes. Will the glue melt in the wash or is it waterproof? Oh, the glue that she used, it's because she put that down before it was quilted, it's gonna stay down. And I'm sure she used fabric glue, which is safe for washing. So let's see where the buttons are.
Oh, right here, or some of them. Jordan, can you zoom in?
So it looks like she did an Aurifil thread. That's the 6-strand embroidery. And she went through the front twice, 2 or 3 times, tied it in a knot, and then just clipped it. So there's a little bit, there's the tails. Is the Nantucket quilt coming in July? Fabric, yes. It does not have a ship date yet. When you quilt 1/2 inch apart, does it make the quilt stiff? Yes, it does. And I love that. I cannot stand a quilt that is like too soft. That sounds ridiculous. Don't add. My preference. When you do the labels on the back, do you sew it on the top or piece it in? Depends. So when I was showing you, I was trying to say if we put it on top. If Teresa does it, she usually puts it on the top. If I do it, I usually sew it in. Depends. Will I be getting more Aurifil embroidery thread? Today? Oh, Alicia says it's coming today. You better order fast because it took forever. Did I stitch over the panel cross stitches? No, definitely not. I noticed that Lori's new vintage trim is on cardstock instead of wooden spools. Are they doing away with the wooden spools? I think that, if I remember correctly, those were they couldn't make them anymore, and that's why. Will I have a live stream this summer with Lori in previous years? Does she have another book in the works? She does have another book in the works. I can't say much about it, but I don't think we have a live stream planned with her this summer. I am going to visit her in September. Okay, so I'm gonna move to the new blog post that we did. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we put together a new blog post on Bella Solids and the different whites so that you could maybe bookmark it, print it out, and it shows the whites together. So I wanted to show them to you. So this is color 500. This is the newest color by Moda. It's just the whitest white. This is color 98. This is color 67. This is color 200. And this is color 60. So I use color 200 the most, which is right here. This one. The one I use the second most would be 98. So if you want a white, this is color 500, but this is the previous white. So,
Do you want me to flip the top?
no, I think it's fine. So we just wanted you to know that this is now on the Jolly Jabber blog, and it is, if you want to see what colors, what the whites look like in comparison, we'll have photos there now that you can use. And now I'm going to move to the what's new section. These are quilt kits that we have borrowed the quilts from the manufacturers. This is the Santa's Tree Farm panel quilt. This is designed by Lisa Audit, the pattern and the fabric. It's 64 inches square. We borrowed the quilt from Riley Blake. The quilt kit is now in stock, and the quilt kit comes in this cute packaged box. So it's got that on the front, this on the back, and this is a sleeve that comes off. So under it is a white box. So if you want it, it says Riley Blake. Great. It's embossed right here. It says Riley Blake. So you could either leave this on or off. So this is the Santa's Tree Farm collection. So we have the quilt kit, we have the full collection, all the pre-cuts, all the things. Okay, the next thing is,
Peyton, if you want to slide off, I'll slide on.
the Stars and Windows quilt kit, also by, I don't think this is by Lisa Audit. This is by Bev McCullough. So this is the fabric is designed by Lisa Audit. The pattern is designed by Bev McCullough of Flamingo Toes. It comes packaged in this cute little box. Same thing, this is a sleeve that goes over it, and if you pull this out, it's a Riley Blake box, and it'll say Riley Blake right here. So a lot of people collect them. In person, you can see it. On camera, you just can't. I'm sorry. It's 68 by 92. We borrowed the quilt from Riley Blake. The kit is available, and this collection is called Trick or Treat by Lisa Audit. I'll put this one on the table. Okay, this, I wanted to show you guys, this is the Pumpkin Spice Gatherings panel by Lisa Bonjing. This is actually my personal quilt. I had this made from some sample yardage we got, and so I just wanted to show it to you. All of this is a panel. None of this is stitched. Jordan's gonna zoom in, and the fabric looks stitched because it's zigzaggy. That's fine. I think it's fine. I think they get it. But it looks like, you know, it looks like Teresa would have, you know, had to do some embroidery, but it's just all part of the panel. The binding is from the Pumpkin Gatherings collection. The backing, we use Cuddle Ginger Solid. So this is C3 Ginger. This one we sewed this label on top. Quilted by Gina Tell. It's about 35 by 42. And these are 1 inch apart. And it's just a small, I think this is really cute because you could put it, you could hang it off of a, like a fireplace. Obviously, if you're not using the fireplace, I have to say that every time. I just don't use my fireplace, so people are like, aren't you gonna set it on fire? You could put it on a table, you could drape it on the back of a chair. It's not too big and it's not too small. The next panel is the Berry and Pine quilt panel. This one's totally different because it's humongous. This is from the Berry and Pine collection by Vanessa Gertzen. So this is just a panel. When you buy it, it looks like this. It's pre-packaged from Moda. It's 58 by 72. and I'm going to show it to you on the table. Okay, so this is the panel, how it comes. This binding is 5230-15. It's from her Magic Dot collection. On the back, we used a Shannon 90-inch wide fabric and color Blossom. It's C390 Blossom. This was quilted by Gina Tell. And this is the kind that my kids will use because it has the soft backing. So Peyton, are you going to take this one?
Sure.
Yeah, see, he's like, yeah, sure, anything with the soft backing. And then right here, Teresa just put this what is it? She just used a green Bella on the corner and sewed that on top. And so just to show you for size, this is the Layla Boutique. And then this is just their standard. We cut this in-house. And so this is the smaller panel, 23. This is 58 by 72. Okay, now we're moving to new quilt kits. These were sewn, this was sewn by us, wasn't it? Okay, this is how this kit comes packaged. It's the Kansas Dust Storm quilt kit. This is the Muse collection by Three Sisters. It's 64 by 78. This is a free video. It is a low-priced pattern, PDF, Classic and Vintage YouTube channel. Classic and Vintage video on our YouTube channel. Okay, so I want to leave this quilt here and then bring another quilt on to answer a question. So leave that one there, Jordan. Okay, so this is how 90% of the people in the world quilt their quilts. Big quilting, soft, you know, it's soft, it's cuddly. This is how I quilt my quilts. They are stiff as a board and the quilting is tiny and you can tell the difference. It's just preference. This one is crunchy. This one is soft. If you want your quilt to be soft, do big pantographs. If you want it to be small, you want it to be crunchy, do it this way. It's your choice. Put that down. Okay, this next quilt is called Bramble Blossom. The other way. Yeah, right there.
I thought you were showing that. But
Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is called Bramble Blossom. It is 60 by 78. This is an Itzo Emma pattern. It's the same collection as the last one, and then this is the quilt kit. It comes with our ribbon. It's 60 by 78. The pattern is available separately. It is called Bramble Blossom, 60 by 78. Okay, I think you're good. Oh, Peyton, I think you're good.
Do a top kit?
Oh, sure. Sorry. And this one is soft and cuddly. So you can always tell my quilts versus employee quilts. I'm not sure who made this one. This is the Sister Stars quilt kit featuring Muse by Three Sisters, same collection. This is the Jolly Bar pattern. So this is this comes with the Jolly Bar. The pattern only comes in the Jolly Bar. It has the background, the border, and the binding.
Was that all bad?
This is your last quilt.
Okay, and then this is the last quilt Peyton has to hold up. This one's really cute. This is also a Jolly Bar pattern. This is the Cozy Comfort Quilt Kit featuring the Pumpkin Spice Gatherings collection by Primitive Gatherings. I want to show it to you with the, I'm going to put this one in front of it. So this is the same collection. Both of them have green binding. This is the Jolly Bar pattern. We'll show it to you on the table. And this is the background. The accent is right here. This is another accent right here, and this is the binding. Okay, this is Acorn Hollow by Basic Gray from Moda Fabrics. This collection, everything's in stock, the pre-cuts and the yardage. I'm gonna do it this way. These are really cute. I think I made a scrappy block out of this fabric. Which Bella Solid is closest to Kona Snow? I would say color 98 or color 500. I love backing with designs and labels, but it's a challenge to center when I long arm. Any suggestions? Well, I hire just really good long armers who'd figure it out for me.
You can also send them a picture
Oh.
of how you want it. Teresa did that recently with one of yours.
So you can also send like a drawn out picture of how you want it, like where you want it to be, and then that way they can place it where you want it. Acorn Hollow, Basic Gray. Friends of Smoky Bear. So this one has a panel. We didn't bring the panel, but the panel's not as good as the first panel. It's like it's Smoky Bear with a big old shovel.
Is that not the original?
It's a new one. It's just not as good as the first one. The fabric's just as good though, because I was gonna make Kevin a quilt with this, but he already has one, and so I think he can handle not having one for a little bit. A second one. But I do like this print. I think this would make a cute pillowcase. So Friends of Smoky Bear. Now I can tell you the first Smoky Bear sold out like crazy. So I'm not sure how this one will do. Everything's in stock, pre-cut yardage, and there is a panel. This is Sandy Gervais Christmas collection for Riley Blake Designs. It's called Glisten. And we have everything in stock. No, we do not. The yardage is in stock. Pre-cuts will not be in stock until mid-June. And then this one is, it's just printed. There's no, like it looks gold, but it does not have metallic. And then this is a very dark forest green. Naughty or Nice by Teresa Kogut. The yardage for this is in stock. The pre-cuts are not available yet, and this one also has a panel. So, but the panels aren't in the bundle. So next time we'll have to pull the panel separate. And I'll describe the panel to you in a second because Denise is going to it so I can look at it. It's like a big Santa holding a teddy bear and Raggedy Ann doll. And it's a 1 yard panel. And then this is black. Anytime there's like navy or black, I try to describe it to you so you can see it. These are all just really beautiful hand-drawn. Riley Blake Fabrics. Liberty Fabrics. Okay, we talked about this last week. We got a lot of shipments in on Liberty Fabrics, so I'm going to show you, this is the London Bouquet, and this is like the streets of London. I'm going to actually lay them where you can kind of see them compared to each other. Pre-cuts and yardage in stock. Okay, London Bouquet. This is Tudor Celebration. This one has some sewing elements to it. So it's got like the spool, bobbin, and scissors, and like a tomato pin cushion. The pre-cuts and yardage are in stock. Now on this one, 2 of the yardage SKUs have already sold out, and we tried to reorder and Riley Blake does not have more of them. So 2 are already sold out. This print right here is just like an all over a funky log cabin type print. So this is London Bouquet. This is Tudor Celebration. This one is Liberty Flower Shop. So this is the 100% cotton Liberty of London fabric that's distributed by Riley Blake.
Since you can't see questions right now, is Liberty fabric, is this cotton or tonalon?
This is the 100% cotton. The way you will know the difference is on our website. 100% cotton is a lower price and Tonalon is a much higher price. Tonalon is much thinner, a finer, smaller stitch weave, but it's 58 inches wide. So this is Liberty Flower Shop. And then this one is Heirloom Spring 1. So you can see the yellows, they kind of cross over. This next collection is called Romantica Curator. Curator is spelled different, so just type in Romantica Art Gallery. I want to show you this one. Everything is in stock on this one. That's like a really big floral. This one is the prettiest out of all of them. So Romantica Art Gallery. Caterina Rochella from Art Gallery. This is Adventel. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Jordan, you think that's right?
Yeah.
And then this one, we have yardage and pre-cuts. These prints right here are about 2.5 inches square. So if you wanted to, you could like buy this and then cut it. You would obviously ruin the one next to it, but you could like spell out a name in a quilt or something. This one's really pretty. Gnomes. Very vintage. Adventil. This is Pam Buda fabric. This is called Pam's Star Special Edition. So this print right here, you know, obviously looks like English paper piecing, but it's not. But your friends won't know when you give them a quilt. They'll just think that you pieced all of that. And with Pam, we have half yards, fat quarters, and yardage. This is the same thing. So it's some blues and some rust fall. So really, you know, you could consider it, you could either do together or separate. This next collection is called Studio Edit. It is by Heather Ross. And the last collection she had, yardage sold out fast, and we were not able to get more. On this one, you know, we won't know if we'll be able to get more until we run out, and then, you know, we'll try to get more. It's called Studio Edit, Heather Ross, Wyndham Fabrics. Lots of gnomes and strawberries and mice. And this is a pretty big collection. Can I see the questions? Oh, Tonalon, we already answered that, okay. Okay, I'm not seeing very many questions, so we're good. This is very 70s when you get down in here. And you know, Heather, she usually has one black print in all of her collections. And then she usually has like a white and a cream. A Kitty Christmas by Hannah West for Henry Glass. This one's really cute, the panel. I think some of you will love. Anytime we have cats, they 90% of the time do well. There's a fun saying in the quilting fabric world. People will buy cats no matter what they look like. People will only buy a dog fabric if it looks like their dog. So dog fabrics don't sell as well because of that. This is the cutest panel ever. I think it's 35 inches, but I would look on the site just to make sure. So this one, you could actually just, it has cut lines on it. You could actually just quilt this. Pretend you sewed all these kitties. Because it's got that, you know, the border already built in. A Kitty Christmas, Hannah West, Henry Glass Fabrics. This is Midnight Hauntings by Wilmington Prince, Michael Davis. He's a new artist for them. Kevin always likes their Halloween fabrics. And so with Wilmington, they do offer all the pre-cuts also. Timeless Treasures Winter Wonderland by Katie Hennigar for Timeless Treasures. So this one is kind of like a cozy, like cabin-ish Christmas. I guess there's the cabins. I was like, I think there's cabins. And the panel is what really brings it together. So it's called Winter Wonderland. And this is like a gray. And this little animal feet. Studio E, this is Christmas Village by Rebecca Canali. I'll show you the panel first. This is a 23-inch panel. It's really cute. So there's little postage stamps. This gingham is the same gingham that's on the outside of that panel. So if you added like a border, like if you wanted to add like a plain border to the outside of this and then bind with this, it would look really good. This is like a border stripe. So all the Christmas fabric is coming in. This is Lenore Batiks by Anthology Fabrics. So it's basically Halloween batiks. Usually Halloween batiks do really well for us. If we see a Halloween batik, we will always buy it. Not Christmas. Christmas batiks don't sell very good for us. This is Heather Bailey for Figo Fabrics, Full Bloom. And this one we have pre-cuts, we have yardage, we have all the things. This is also very vintage. So the other one was Heather Ross, and this is Heather Bailey. And they both design vintage fabric, so sometimes it's hard to. This is kind of a bigger collection. This kind of reminds me of the scale of Amy Butler when she used to do fabric, which was like 22 years ago. We have a Christmas collection by Bonnie Sullivan and Maywood. We always buy her Christmas flannel, and I think Maywood has the best flannel. It's so soft. Does this one have a panel with it? I don't remember if it does.
I'm looking.
This one's really cute. An interesting fact, Bonnie Sullivan is sisters with Kathy Schmitz. Here is the Holly Jolly quilt kit from that collection, and this is the panel right here. Okay, some people love color cards, and with manufacturers, they tend to make them. They're super a loss leader. They don't make money on them ever, and so a lot of times we won't have them forever because of that. But this is actual fabric swatches of all of the confetti cotton. This is a photo, this is swatches. I don't know how long these will last. This is really big too. So if you are somebody who likes to have a color card, there's a new one for confetti cotton, 300 colors. I did want to let you guys know we got the Shelly Kavana first book in stock. She was a guest a couple of weeks ago and y'all wanted to know about her first book, and so here is her first book with C&T. It's mostly Lone Star inspired quilts. We got some new glam bags. I showed you the new ones last week from Camille, but these are new. So this Buon Natale, this is by Fig Tree, and then these are just they're non-designer. So there's this is the Christmas Village, this is the foil vintage sewing machine, foil vintage scissor, and then sewing icons bag. Okay, the swatches, how big are those swatches? I'll measure them. I would say 1 inch, but let's see. One 1.75 by 2.5. Okay, so we have gone really long today. I am going to answer all the questions though. When a Halloween fabric says glow in the dark, does it glow? Yes, it does. Now, I would say after a couple of washes, I don't think it's going to glow anymore. I recently discovered Tilda. Do you ever order Tilda? If so, how often do you see new lines released? We buy all of Tilda fabrics, and we aren't going to do a club just because I think her fabric is, it's not like a consistent schedule, but we buy the Tilda and we keep it until it's sold out. Okay, I think that is all of our questions, guys. So thank you so much for watching. It has been 2.5 amazing hours. Thank you to everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.